full potential to me is a combination of getting high individual stats and then coming close to the championship at different times of your career. Hopefully they merge at some point in your career, because then that's when you are considered. That's when you become considered one of the greatest at your position.
But that's
that
not
is
true.
full potential.
But that's
That
not
is full
true.
potential to me.
But that's not
If
true.
Harden,
because
let me
have,
one more sentence.
Yeah,
If
Landon.
James Harden played on the Thunder this whole time, usage rate doesn't matter. I understand. Yes, you don't, to be a traditional point guard, you don't have to have a high usage rate. However, most of the all-time great point guards have a high usage rate. Therefore, if James Harden's usage rate was lower, we would never think of James Harden the way we think of him right now. He wouldn't get the money he got right now. That's a fact. And if he did, Westbrook wouldn't get it. And Westbrook could not play like Dwayne Wade for most of his career and expect to be some type of all-time great like Dwayne Wade, because it's a different era. It's a different era. You got to compare these guys to their peers. It's competition. So therefore, and then let's not forget Durant was over there scoring 30. Like, everybody cannot eat. That's a fact. We've seen it so many times. Go ahead.
You're done? Because I want to make sure you are fully heard.
I'm done. I'm completely done. Go ahead.
Alan, please cut me off and jump in at any point. But I'm about to tear all those points up one by one, because I feel like you agree with me.
I think I do agree with you.
One, to your point of the best version of players is ideally when there's a intersection of when their individual stats are peaking, but also they're contending and winning, right? Yeah. That has historically been completely false. It has been the narrative of the best players in the league since the start of time, that they will get to points in their career where their individual stats are the best they've ever been and they don't win. And there's a narrative about how they have to sacrifice and learn how to play with the team to win. And almost inevitably their stats go down and then they win. Michael Jordan won 7 whatever scoring titles. He was labeled a ball hog. He learned how to play with the team. His stats went down. He won. Same thing happened with Kobe Bryant. Similar things happen with LeBron James. That's how it works. So the idea that the best version of yourself has anything to do with the peaking of your individual stats, I hold is categorically false. Point one. Right? The peaking of your individual stats has nothing to do with the best version of yourself in terms of what I am considering the best version of yourself. If you want to say the most productive, the most dangerous, the most dominant, sure. Maybe we would have never seen James be as dominant as he was in Houston Rockets. Which is fine. I'll agree with that. I don't think that means we never saw the best version of him, because the best version of a player to me is the best a player can play towards winning. That's the best, because that's the best. That means that's the best basketball you're playing, right? That's what I stand on in ethos in basketball, right? The best version of you is the version of you that's playing the best basketball. Not the version of you that's putting up the best numbers, not the version of you that's the most unguardable, the version of you playing the best basketball. And that's what I'm saying. I think both James Harden and Russell Westbrook, the way they were developed as youth, they were robbed of ever being able to play the best basketball that the two of them were either capable of. I think OKC was a new franchise. They had a relatively unknown coach. It was the start of the media entertainment era, right? We could tie everything we've been talking about for the last 3 months. We could tie everything we've been talking back to this, right?
Yeah.
They had to find a way to make that team popular. Kevin Durant, drafted number 2, he had to find a way to make himself relevant with LeBron and with Miami Heat going, right? Yeah. So they developed those players into highlight machines and stat stuffers. And then they said, hopefully we can win that way.
And they got some fun.
And then what did they end up losing to? Franchises who developed their young players into full-fledged basketball players who knew how to play basketball and play better team basketball and won. And that is why, even though I didn't like it, at the end of the day, there was something philosophically poetic about Kevin Durant going to Golden State.
Don't get it started. Don't get it started.
Yeah, this podcast is gonna be like 5 hours. Oh my god!
No, I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to give you any license to go there. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that, right? But we can use a ton of other examples. I say this all the time that where you get drafted matters so much.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Where you get drafted matters so much. We've seen certain franchises where when they draft people, those picks always turn into superstars or great basketball. Miami Heat. You get drafted by the Miami Heat, or you get signed as an undrafted, or you come up in their G League system, you turn into a phenomenal basketball player because you have Pat Riley running things. And you have Eric Spoelstra, one of the greatest coaches in NBA history, mind you, running things, who teach, like we said about Pop, who teach these players how to play basketball. A lot of these franchises, they draft players that are talents, and they facilitate that player stuffing stats to put butts in seats and then pray that they can get good enough at stuffing stats that you could bring a coach in that could use them and figure out how to win with them. But they did not actually develop these players, right? Thank God Kobe Bryant was drafted by the Lakers, because with his mindset, if he had gone to Charlotte, he would have been Tim Hardaway. He would have been Tracy McGrady, right? A great statistical player, but never got the knowledge, never was given the gems of how you actually win at this, how you play basketball at the highest level, right? LeBron James, I think one of the greatest credits to LeBron James is how he's developed as a player despite spending his first 7 years somewhere where they didn't know what to do with him.
Yes, that's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Never had a coach to actually teach him. He really had to learn himself. And when did he take the biggest jump? When he went and played for Coach K in the Olympics.
Oh, well, true.
And got taught how to really play basketball. And then he went to the Heat and played with Dwayne Wade. Played in a championship culture for a franchise and learned how to really win, how to really play basketball. Right? So to not belabor the point and revisit all my points, all I'm trying to say is I don't believe just because we've seen Russell Westbrook and James Harden put up phenomenal numbers that under my definition of best, that we've seen what the best version of them could have been. I think there was a version of those players, had they been under different tutelage, had they been under different development systems, they may have developed into players that played better quality basketball and produced more winning. Would they have put up the same numbers? Potentially not. Would they have still become Hall of Fame players? I think so.
I think so too.
I think so.
They'd be some of the greatest at their positions.
I think so.
I think so.
I think so.
And you are absolutely categorically, unbelievably wrong. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Why?
Everything you said is not everything, but a lot of what you said is like it's true. But to get to your point, it's off because of your definition of best. Yeah,
why?
I understand what you're saying about best as far as the type of basketball they play, winning habits, winning mentality. I get it.
But also just smart, like putting up great numbers doesn't mean
that's all winning. Smart is winning.
No, but what I'm saying, but even what I'm saying, like putting up great numbers doesn't show me how high level of basketball you're playing.
We know that.
It shows me how productive you are, right? So
Pharaoh.
But don't just put it to the winning. Don't just make me as like best solely means winning. I'm talking about how it looks too, like the quality of your ball, your style, how efficient you are, right?
Like it's about talent. It's about ability. All of that plays a.
They were born with that.
No. Wait a second.
They were born with that.
We don't know how good they could be if they sacrifice their whole career. We don't know how talented they are. That's a fact. If they sacrifice their whole career, we do not know.
Listen,
hold on. Let me say this quick. I don't have a lot to say, but this is going to demolish your whole argument. Everything you said leads to sacrificing their productivity.
Why?
Productivity. You just admit.
You admitted.
You admitted. It shows how productive they could be. You said it.
No.
You didn't
I'm
say
talking
that?
about style. I'm talking about Alan. Did I say that?
I'm talking about. Listen, I've been listening
I'm
to
talking about style.
Now
That
you're
was
talking about style. Now you're talking.
No,
about
that's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about best, I'm talking about style and
no. I
quality of
said,
basketball.
but you said productivity. You said when you were countering my argument earlier, like 5 minutes ago, you said maybe it shows how productive they could be.
No, yes.
He said dominant.
Yes, stats
And
only
productive.
stats only tell me productivity and dominant. I'm not saying that means high quality automatically means less productivity. No, I'm just saying
Everybody can't eat. Everybody can't be equally as productive on a team.
The Warriors have proved different.
That's not
No,
true
not
either.
equally productive. Not equally productive. Okay, so you're telling me that if James Harden, in a version that I'm talking about, never led the league in scoring, but was a Hall of Fame otherwise, you think the best version of him is the version of him that led the league in scoring versus a version of him that let me just paint the picture. He still could have done that. Let me just paint the picture.
You're thinking about that in hindsight, though.
Let me just paint the picture. Think about, and Alan, this is how I'm going to tee you up. Alan, when the big three were together, I'm thinking about the version of James Harden when Kevin Durant got hurt.
Keyword when Kevin Durant got hurt.
Hold on. Do you remember that version of James Harden?
A little bit. This is when he was out for the season.
No. When James Harden signed that first season before they went to the playoffs, right? When they traded for him mid-season or beginning of season, in the middle of that season, Kevin Durant got hurt for like 10 games or something, and him and Kyrie went on a West Coast trip.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
And damn near swept that West Coast trip. And they literally came out in the media and they said, me and James had a talk and we figured out how we're going to play. Kyrie said, I told James, you be the point guard. I'll be the 2 guard. Forget our sizes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I'm 6'2". It doesn't matter that you're 6'5". James, you be the point guard. You initiate our offense and organize it. I'm going to focus on scoring. And they were damn near unstoppable as an offense at that point. Because every year, I feel like the most historic offensive efficiency rate gets set, right? But the first time in recent times that happened was that Nets team. Yes. That Nets team, but KD came back and they kept doing it. But I'm saying the switch happened when KD was out. When KD was out, that's when they made that decision. When KD came back, the Nets looked like they were about to win the championship.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Because I thought about how ironic it was. I was like, this is the way James Harden and Kevin Durant were supposed to have been developed into playing.
Exactly.
Now is Westbrook
James Harden was
Kyrie?
No.
Exactly.
No, but time out. Kyrie was still eating. The 3 of them were still averaging 20 each.
I said is Westbrook going to play like Kyrie?
No,
exactly.
No,
but yo, that's not your whole argument. Your whole argument was that 3 people can't eat. That was
and
the whole
I said
argument.
3 people were eating. 3 people were eating. And I think there's a version of Russell Westbrook that couldn't got developed as a 2 guard, where with James Harden as a point playing the style we saw at the time I'm talking about, where he was averaging 20 and 12. 20 and 12, James Harden, Hall of Fame player. Steve Nash averaged 15 and 10 for his career and is a 2-time MVP Hall of Fame, one of the best point guards ever. And you're telling me a 20 and 12 James Harden?
Ball dominant.
I don't care. I don't care.
You can't ignore that. Oh my God.
I don't care. Let me finish the point. A 20 and 12 James Harden would have been standing next to a Kevin Durant averaging 28 or 30, and Russell Westbrook could have been a 22 to 24 point scorer. That could have existed.
Yes.
And he would have been one of the best 2 guards. Yes.
His play style.
You are talking about the play style he developed. I'm talking about a different Westbrook. And that's my point. That's my whole point.
His whole argument
is that Westbrook that could have existed.
The Westbrook you described was Dwayne Wade.
Yes.
No, that's not going to work like Kyrie did on the Nets.
Okay, obviously it wouldn't have looked like how that looks, but it could have worked.
Play style plays a part in chemistry. Does it not?
Of course. I think a Dwayne Wade style next to that version of Kevin Durant and that version of James Harden would have worked. I truly believe that. I truly believe not in 2021, obviously.
Not in
2012. In 2012, in 2013,
Paul,
when the Heat were winning championships with Dwayne Wade, when the Miami Heat were winning championships with Dwayne Wade.
What?
Let me ask you a quick question. Quick scenario. Do you think?
What are we talking about?
Do you think a team with prime KD, prime Chris Paul, and prime D-Wade would have worked?
Prime KD, Prime
Chris Paul, prime D-Wade. Do you think a big deal like that would have worked?
At that time, in their era, we're talking about 2012, not 2016, not 2020. We're talking about 2012, 2013, when Dwayne Wade was winning championships. So what are we talking about?
All right, whatever. Forget I said prime. Do you think a team with a good, healthy D-Wade, good, healthy Chris Paul, and good, healthy KD, do you think that team would work? In 2012.
In 2012?
Yeah.
In 2012.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's what Farrah's point is.
Doesn't matter because those guys were young. They had to be developed.
That's what he's saying.
Why is he telling my point doesn't matter because of my point? Am I late? Hold on.
He's saying if they all stay in that situation, they all will develop.
Hold on. Fast breaks bingo. All y'all that have your fast breaks bingo card out there, all is yelling, and Farrah just asked, is he laced?
No.
Comments. Am I laced? Is my whole point not about development?